So a celebration is in order, and congratulations to Mr. Burge, who is celebrating out to Burgess Camp. And I would urge all of you to go out and join in that celebration. Today's program is a very special program, and I want you to just relax and enjoy. You always enjoy going to Enterprise Square Place, where you can save money, gasoline, and time. Oh, what a deal. You will be glad you did. Go to 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Go to Enterprise Square Place. It's first class, and you are truly safe at last at Enterprise Square Place. A place where you can pay all of your utility bills except your water bill. A place where you can take advantage of a bona fide United States Post Office. Yes, you can enjoy the cleaners, Sherry's Cleaners. Put your clothes in one day and pick them up the next day, all at Sherry's Cleaners. Here in Oklahoma City, located at 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. If you don't want to do your laundry, take it to the cleaners, and the cleaners will take care of your laundry. Maybe we should call it Sherry's Laundry Cleaners. They will do it all.
Tu padre contigo.
Claro que no.
All. Not only that, if you want to do your own laundry, you can take advantage of the laundromats. You have more laundromats at the Sherry's Laundromat than any other place in the northeast segment of Oklahoma City. It's weekend time, and on the weekend we think about Burger Brothers, located at 412 South Harvey Street here in Oklahoma City. A place where you can buy groceries and meat for less, with everyday low prices, plus weekend specials, fresh vegetables and fruit. All at Burger Brothers, 412 South Harvey, where they have weekly specials. Today's program is being made possible by the Watkins Stevens Skyview Convalescent Nursing Home, located at 2200 Coltrane Road here in Oklahoma City. It's a clean home. It's a modern home for the sick and aged, with 24-hour nursing service. Mrs. Betty R. Lynch is the administrator. Listen, do you realize that they have a hot food cart where you can be assured that your relatives and friends receive those hot meals that they are used to? All at Watkins Stevens Skyview Convalescent Nursing Home. Senator Porter will have to go to trial. What will happen to Senator Porter? Thursday, he will go into court at 9 o'clock. We aren't exactly sure where, but we want you to be sure and be there. We know we don't know where it is at this time, and if anyone out there has that information, let me know. I'm sure that it will be announced tomorrow in the various churches. He will be tried for saying a judge is a racist. Can you imagine? I had the opportunity to go down to Judge Bohannon's court. I listened with a great deal of interest as an expert testified about what was good for school children. It was really interesting. For example, he stated that they had tested 24 children. 24 that was dot bust and 24 that was bust. And the kids that were not bust made a better score. Now, can you imagine that? Do you believe that? Which basically say that those of us that were bust, like I was bust from Hoffman, Oklahoma to Grayson, Oklahoma, then I wouldn't make a score as good as someone who was not bust that lived in the Grayson area. I would like to know how you feel about neighborhood schools. Do you want your children to grow up in an all-black society? In some schools on the east side of Oklahoma City, you have 1, 2, or 3 whites. How will these young people be able to interact in a real world? And yesterday, as I sat in court listening to the argument, I thought about Mr. F.D. Moon and Roscoe Dungy. I thought about these two men that were so happy when the schools were integrated. And I thought about that day when we went down to the Board of Education when they had no blacks in positions like assistant superintendents, like counselors, like heads of curriculums and all of that. And then I picked up the newspaper where Betty Mason, an assistant black superintendent, had testified that it was all right to use neighborhood schools. And I read about Belinda Biscoe say that segregated schools was all right. And I wondered what Mr. F.D. Moon and Mr. Roscoe Dungy would have said if they had been in that courtroom. Here we went down fighting for black people to get in position, thinking that black people would have someone to speak for them, to speak their dreams and aspirations. And here are black people, Dr. Tommy White, talking about segregation is all right. Well, maybe they will sue me for saying that. But anybody that thinks that segregation is all right is in the same class with President Botha and others in South Africa. Segregation in any color is wrong. The Constitution, the members of the Supreme Court ruled in 1954 on that May 17th date that segregation within itself is wrong. Well, I'm telling you, I would hate for those kind of people that say it's all right to segregate to teach my children. Because my children must live in a real world. They must live in a world where people are white and black, brown, yellow, and what have you. And I don't want anybody to think that segregation is right. Well, I want to say it out loud. Segregation is wrong, Dr. Betty Mason. Segregation is wrong, Dr. Tommy White. Segregation is wrong, Mrs. Belinda Biscoe. Segregation is wrong. Now, if you all, and I know none of you have had the opportunity to stand up and fight openly against segregation, so I can understand why you could say that segregation was right. And I wonder if people are afraid of their jobs and think they have to go along with everybody else. Well, I know one thing. Segregation in any form is wrong. I know that. I know that segregation is wrong. And I want to say it. I don't want anybody to look at me that would go downtown in front of Dr. Stella and others and say that segregation is all right. It's all right for neighborhood schools. And anybody that says something about the housing pattern ought to come around and look. All right. It's going to be pretty difficult to win a case when your own black people are testifying against you. Now that's pretty tough, because if you are a good black person, you can get the good jobs. You can move up to the top. But if you tell it like it is, you have to fight for it. Well, I'm telling you, I would rather be poor, and to be honest with myself, because no good thinking, historical thinking black person would say that segregation is right. Now, I know down in Georgia there are some whites that are saying it's all right. I know that in North Carolina there are some whites that are saying that it's all right. But there are also some whites that are saying that it's right. And there are some that are saying that it's wrong. Where do you stand? I sure would like for you to call me. You can call in here. Oh, you can't call me today. I would like to take a survey myself to see if it's right. Now, they say that we have better PTAs than we have ever had. I would like to tell you in Oklahoma City that I went to a PTA meeting at Longfellow School, and certainly I didn't see all of those people. And if you know of any school in Oklahoma City on the northeast that have those large PTAs, let me know. Or northwest. Now, what happened at John Marshall and Jefferson School, they put the PTA meeting and open house together. And sure, we had a lot of people at the open house, sure. And the PTA people were out there getting memberships, and then come up and say it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know one thing, and I want to say it again, and I want to say it loud. I don't care if Dr. Mason said it. I don't care if Belinda Biscoe said it. I don't care if Dr. White said it. Well, they are isolated as far as the black community and the black race is concerned. Thurgood Marshall said that segregation was wrong. Roscoe Dungy said it was wrong. F.D. Moon said it was wrong. Jimmy Stewart said it was wrong. Mary McLeod Bethune said it was wrong. But they say it's right. I'll tell you what, maybe they're going to turn white. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to see Dr. White and he'll be white. I don't know. But I know that Benjamin Hook said that segregation was wrong. Now, I know that. Reverend E.W. Perry told us that segregation was wrong. Dr. Theodore Williams said segregation is wrong. But here, the educated, the doctors say it's all right for neighborhood schools, and anybody that can see or even blind know that neighborhood schools are wrong. Now, Oklahoma City School Board does not know what to do. They say they're going to stop busing, but they close the schools and they are busing the students to other schools. So either you believe in busing or you don't believe in busing. I don't know. They tell me about that equity committee and what that equity committee could do. And I have invited people here, but they have not arrived as yet, to talk about that equity committee and what they did. Now, if the kids can't read that are in schools, that responsibility has to be shared by the teachers. Then you're saying that the teachers don't like teaching students that are bused? Oh. Well, anyway, I don't know. I looked at the judge yesterday. I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but I would like to urge you to go down next week when NACP lawyers will put their witnesses on. When you go down, I want you to watch the eyes of those that were born and raised in a segregated society. And those who believe that they can wrap up segregation in a beautiful word known as neighborhood school and expect someone to buy it. I don't know. But I know one thing. Never would I let my child remain in an all segregated school, and my child is going to have to work in the 21st century. I want you to walk around in Oklahoma City. I want you to look and see the changes in the businesses in Oklahoma City. Unless you learn how to work with Japanese, Chinese, Iranians, Jews, whites, you are in serious trouble. And I want my child, I want my children to start out on even base. Because even I have goldfish, that's my hobby. And I can put my goldfish in a little bitty pond and they remain small. But I can put them in my outdoor pond and they will grow and grow. Clara Luper speaking against segregation. No one has to ask me how I feel about segregation. I think segregation is wrong, and I think that there is no place in the world for a segregated school system, which means that everything else, even in an integrated school system, you can hear about what's going on in the job market, but how can you hear it in the same group? Well, you have heard about Rose's Restaurant at 217 Northwest 23rd Street here in Oklahoma City. 521-9316. On Sunday, they are running a special, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. On Sunday, they will be serving some of the most delicious soul food that you will ever want to eat. That's all at Rose's Restaurant, 217 Northwest 23rd Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. As I listen to PhDs talking about neighborhood schools are all right, I am so glad that I can say with the wisdom of Solomon that segregation is wrong. And I would like to invite Mrs. Biscoe and Dr. Mason out here, and I would like to talk to them, and Dr. White. I would like to talk to them, and I would like for you, the radio audience, to listen as they explain to us why the neighborhood schools are all right. Now, at Truman School, it was closed. Why was these schools closed? They say that if we voted that plan, the schools would not be closed. But I can assure you one thing, they have closed schools. And they have closed schools, and they are now busing kids. So it's not a matter of busing, it's a matter of who's being bused. If it's fair for black kids to be bused, it's certainly fair for whites. And you can learn so much on the bus. In fact, you can learn the names of some of the businesses. You can see different kinds of housing styles. But as long as you just see one, that's really something. It's Miss Black America time. All over this nation, people are preparing to select the representatives for the Miss Black America contest. It's been a long struggle. And in Oklahoma, over 170 young, beautiful, talented young ladies have participated in preliminary Miss Black various cities pageants and also representatives. And now it comes down to tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at exactly 8 o'clock, the Miss Black Oklahoma staff will arrive at the Park International Hotel, located southeast 29th and I-35. And so many times you look at Miss Black Oklahoma and you do not realize the people that put it together. So today I'm going to take out time and let you know those that are responsible for Miss Black Oklahoma. As I call these names, I want you to congratulate these people because they do a fantastic job. Marilyn Hildred, who works as an associate director and an MC. Calvin Luper, an MC and a photographer. C.P. Wilson, a business manager. Letty Ruth Hunter, who is the state judge coordinator. Mrs. Cheryl Fowler, the state page coordinator. Mrs. Leola Ford, the assistant coordinator. Mr. Ellis Hildred in security. Mrs. Elizabeth Mundy, the trainer. Miss Betty Germany in the ticket area. Mrs. Joycelyn Brown, who works as a business assistant. Mrs. Dolly Hall, the state recruiter. Mrs. Luann Wallace, the assistant state recruiter. Mrs. Mary Johnson of Ardmore, and incidentally, these people are from various parts of the state. Mrs. Mary Johnson, who is in public relations. Dr. David Walker, the state ticket coordinator. Sheriff J.D. Sharp, who is the security officers coordinator, along with Lieutenant Pons. Mr. James Alexander on the scholarship committee. Mrs. June Taffy and Mrs. Dolores Hamilton in hospitality. Mrs. Shirley Sullivan, the music coordinator for the state. Mr. Danny Davis, the choreographer for the state. Mrs. David Lee Hall in cosmetology and in charge of the ushers. Mrs. Sandra Mitchell, who works with the luncheons. Mrs. Maxine Hartridge, an assistant to the page program. Miss Irene Drake, an assistant business manager. Mrs. Elnora Douglas, an assistant judge coordinator. Mrs. Arita Jeffries, in charge of the trophies and awards. Mrs. Ruth Tolliver, the souvenir book. Mrs. Nancy Moore, an MC and in public relations. Mr. Sam Moore, a coordinator for the television and the stage. Mr. Calvin Whitaker, the state escort coordinator. Mrs. Onita Brown, assistant ticket representative. Mr. George Singer, in charge of entertainment and awards. Kenny Freeman, the soloist for Miss Black Oklahoma, a song that he wrote and he will be singing during the coronation. Mr. Ray Summons in transportation. Mr. Morris McCraven in music. Steven Scoggins, our soloist. Mr. Rita Red, an assistant to the young ladies. Mrs. Donnie Whitey in clothing coordination. Senator E. Melvin Porter in charge of entertainment and receptions, Mr. Luper Bear and Patricia Bear, assistants to the pageant. Pat works with Mrs. David Lee Hall in cosmetology, and incidentally, they are spending 3 hours from 9 to 12. Mrs. Patricia Bear and Mrs. David Lee Hall will expose the young ladies to the three or four different lines in cosmetology. Attorney Louis Barber, who is an assistant legal advisor. Mrs. Freddie Williams, who's working in entertainment and with breakfasts. Mr. George Finley, who's working in the area of television. And Clara Luper, your state coordinator or promoter. Along with that, we have our boss, Mr. J. Morris Anderson, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And because of the fact that Oklahoma gives away more scholarships, more prizes, more trips than any other state, Mrs. Joe Green, the state promoter from Chicago, Illinois, will be in Oklahoma City on Thursday in order to observe the state of Oklahoma, and how they put their pageant together. Let us kind of go through in order that you will understand what will be happening this weekend, because we want you not only to we want you to open your hearts to these young ladies. At 8:30 a.m. on tomorrow, the escorts will arrive at the Park International Hotel. At 9 o'clock, it's a big moment because the 1987 contestants will arrive. The past contestants will also arrive at that time. If you are a past contestant of the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant, you are certainly invited to take part in this beautiful reception. That reception, in charge of that reception, is another one of our assistants, Attorney A. Vicenio Johnson, this will be his 10th year in working with the pageant, and if you miss his welcoming message in the morning, you will certainly miss a treat. Tomorrow at 9:45, the contestants will leave the hotel and will head to the 5th Street Baptist Church, located at 801 Northeast 5th Street. It is a custom for the contestants to worship at a local church, and certainly those of us at 5th Street Baptist Church are very happy that they selected 5th Street. Tomorrow will also be the first day that we will have a pastor. Reverend Wesley Austin from Birmingham, Alabama, will be arriving in Oklahoma City this evening, and he will preach his first sermon as the pastor tomorrow at 11 o'clock. After church services, the group will go back to the Park Inn International Hotel and will hear an address by Dr. Ernest Holloway, the president of Langston University. Then there will be a talkathon where the old contestants exchange ideas with the new contestants and an orientation. From 7 to 9 o'clock, there will be a welcoming picnic that will be hosted by Senator and Mrs. E. Melvin Porter at their home on Lake Victor. Then it's back to the hotel and orientation. On Monday, there will be a treat. The guest speaker will be Mr. Henry Roth Jr. At the breakfast, Mrs. Leola Ford will be presiding. Mr. C. Dunn, the owner and president of the Dunn's Dairy Queen, will speak to the young ladies at 1 p.m. Now, Mr. C. Dunn is also on the staff of the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. Mrs. Cheryl Fowler will be presiding. At 6:30, from 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday, Marilyn Hildrich, your Allstate agent, will host a blue and white reception for the contestants and her friends. Those of you that know Marilyn, you know you are invited to this reception that will be at the Park Inn International Hotel, located on Southeast 29th and I-35. On Tuesday morning will be a beautiful breakfast. Lieutenant Leon Pons from the sheriff's office will be the guest speaker. It will be a breakfast that you cannot afford to miss. I want you to hear Lieutenant Leon Pons. At 12:30 p.m., there will be a luncheon in which Tulsa will take over. Mrs. Maxine Hodridge and Miss Voltaire will be in charge. But at 7 o'clock, there will be a big event because the contestants, the pages, and the escorts will go to Stale's restaurant for their annual dinner. 7:30 on Wednesday, that will be the annual Nancy Davis's breakfast. Mrs. Hanley, the president of WHO, and Mrs. Nancy Davis will be presiding. Oh, I could go on and tell you, but I will skip some days and I will get down to this big tour on Thursday. On Thursday, the Medical Center State Bank has invited the young ladies to the bank. Never before were these young ladies seen so many minority people in charge of a bank. Now, some of you do not like to see minorities move up, but you will see minorities that have moved up in the banking business at Medical Center State Bank, and they tell me that's the safest bank in Oklahoma City. Mr. George Singer, the man that will give away $1,000 to Miss Black Oklahoma, will host a bingo party and luncheon at the Economy Bingo House, 3613 North Everett Street, on Thursday. At 6:30, it will be the traditional A-Bear dinner. Now, you will never know what A-Bear does for the girls. It is unbelievable, and that dinner will be from 6:30 to 8:30. But all eyes will be on Oklahoma City on Friday, when Miss Black America, Rachel Oliver, arrives from Boston, Massachusetts. At 4:47, a caravan will arrive at the airport, there to greet Miss Black America. Those of you that would like to go with us, be sure and let us know. And certainly we would like to thank the Roth Funeral Home, kind enough to say the limousines are available. We would like to thank the Pollard Funeral Home, who says our limousines are available. And we would like for those of you that have limousines to let us limousine, because that would really be putting class to it. The parents, the escorts, and more people than you will ever believe will fall into Oklahoma City on Friday night, there to witness the annual Judges Banquet. Those of you that would like to come to that banquet, you will have to see our judge coordinator, Mrs. Letty Ruth Hunter, and incidentally, it will cost you $13. But on Saturday, 7:30 a.m., we will have the gridiron breakfast. That is a breakfast where the pages take over. And at that time, the pages will imitate all of the contestants. At 7:30, the pageant will start. And we want you to be there before 7:30. Now, Mrs. Hall has told me to remind you to get in. The doors will open at 7 o'clock. And when those doors open, you are to go in. Oh, I can hardly wait for the 1987 Miss Black America. I will briefly tell you just some of the gifts that will be available for Miss Black Oklahoma. I will only tell you some of it because we have not finished. You have not called me and said what you would like to do for these young ladies. And when I told my public that unless we come up and beat Tulsa, Tulsa was going to take it, these people said no, no, and I really appreciate what you have done. The winner of Miss Black Oklahoma will receive $1,000 from Phillips Petroleum Company out of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. $1,000 from Mr. George Singer of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Maryland Hildred will the Maryland Hildred Award of $500. Jesse Orange Senior Award. Now that's a newer award. Jesse Orange Senior lived in Spencer, Oklahoma, and worked all of his life to see to it that his children would have a better day. And he's been very, very successful in that area because he has two sons who are now in business. And these two sons are given a $250 scholarship in memory of their father, and it will be called the Jesse Orange Senior Award. The Samuel Garden Company, a jewelry company here in Oklahoma City, wanted Miss Black America to have some diamond earrings. And they are given to Miss Black Oklahoma diamond earrings. Mr. Randolph, the general manager of Sears, wanted Miss Black America to look good. And he's given her $100 gift certificate. Oh, I could go on down the line. But I want you to know that whoever wins Miss Black Oklahoma will win an all expense paid trip to the NAACP National Convention in New York City, where she will spend one exciting week at the Sheraton Hotel. Then she will receive an all expense paid trip to the National Miss Black America pageant that will be held in West Palm Beach, Florida. I want you to know and that Freddie Williams, your representative, is hosting a breakfast for the young ladies. I want you to know that OG&E is hosting a reception for the young ladies. Oh, there's so much. I'll tell you more because next week I'll be broadcasting from Miss Black America at the Myriad Convention Center. Oklahoma. We wanted that insurance agent to talk directly to you about insurance. And here she is, Marilyn Hildred, your Allstate agent.
This segment of the Visit with Clara Luper program will be known as Insurance and You. The state of Oklahoma requires, according to the law, that any vehicle driven or registered in Oklahoma must carry liability insurance. What is liability insurance? Liability insurance protects the other driver from you. Say, for instance, if you had an accident and you're at fault, then your insurance would pay up to the limits of your policy. For instance, the law of Oklahoma requires that you carry 10-20-10 liability. What does that really mean? If you have an accident and you're at fault, your insurance company would pay up to $10,000 per person that you injured, $20,000 per accident, and $10,000 for any property damage that you might do. Say, for instance, that your brakes gave way and you ran into a school bus. And in this school bus, several children were injured. Under your 10-20-10 liability, the maximum amount that your insurance company would pay would be $20,000. So look at the limits of your own insurance. And if you're only carrying what the law of Oklahoma requires you to carry, maybe you might need to increase the limits of your liability. Say, if you ran into a car and you're at fault, and the car costs more than $10,000, and right now, if you've been out to purchase a car, you know that most cars are valued at more than $10,000. You would see that the coverages that you presently have on your insurance are not adequate. Take time, look and see exactly what you have on your insurance. And if you're not satisfied, contact your agent. This has been Insurance and You, brought to you by Marilyn Hildred, your Allstate insurance agent. Thank you.
Marilyn, what is your telephone number in case someone wants additional information?
My telephone number at my office is 848-7470. My home number is 842-5232.
Thank you so very kindly. The 1987 families. This is the 11 families. 11 are Tamara Moore, Cameron University, Lawton, Oklahoma. Central, from Central State, the lovely, talented Carla Ellis. And let me put lovely and talented on each one of these young ladies. Cameron University, Tamarin Moore, Central State University, Carla Ellis, Langston University, Sharon Evans, Midwest City, Oklahoma, Dana Ledbetter, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Carla Robertson, Oklahoma State University, Tanya Brown, Oklahoma University, Cordelia Webb, Quail Creek, Felicia Reed, Stillwater Route 6, and let me see if Shelley can tell me. Here we have someone from Route 6, Stillwater.
Dorothea Smith.
Dorothea Smith. From Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Victoria Blocker.
From Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Gloria Nash.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have the top 11 in the 1987 Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. Along with the pageant, along with the contestants, we have developed a program that has certainly grown. This is a program where we have pages. And Shelley, would you tell us what a page does at the Miss Black Oklahoma page?
The PAGE program is designed to motivate and put self-confidence in girls between the ages of 4 and 16. It helps us to be more positive, and it takes the shyness out of you by putting the experience into you.
All right, now who are the finalists in the 1987 Miss Black Page program? I would like for you and Alicia both to tell me the finalists for the pages.
Sardina Fowler,
Alicia Hildreth,
Ebony Hood,
Allison Lois,
Natay Patterson,
Shelly Luper,
Micaiah Peters,
Sydney Stale,
Sharita Sutton,
Chanel Whitaker,
Kalandra Wilson, Shauna Crosby,
Latasha Wells,
and Deandra Mitchell.
There you have it. We left out the one from Shawnee.
Rhonda Taffy.
All right. There you have the finalists in the PAGE program. Now, some of you have called me about it, and you say, I would like for my child to become involved. It's really a rewarding program. And I have with me a young lady that celebrated her birthday yesterday with a big party at Showbiz. And now Alicia Hildred is 9 years old. Alicia, how does it feel to be 9 years old?
It feels great.
Oh, great. It feels great. I'm glad that it feels great. Now, I understand that you are a page.
Yes.
What do you think of the PAGE program?
What I think about the PAGE program is you have a lot of experience and you get a lot of compliments.
Oh, you like compliments?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to moving into the Park International Hotel tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, now, you are a very intelligent little 9-year-old. I'm real proud of you. Could you tell me, who do you think will win the pageant in 1987?
Let me see.
Okay, I'll let you see. Who do you think will win it?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know who will win it, and that's true. I would like for you to thank all of those people that attended your party yesterday at the Showbiz.
Thank you for attending my birthday party.
And you need to thank someone for giving that party for you.
My mother and my father.
Okay, well, you better say thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I really enjoyed your party, Alicia. Shelley, you have had experience. How many years have you been in the PAGE program?
About 9 years.
About 9 years, and you are 13 now, which means you started in the program at the age of 4. What do you think is the benefit of the PAGE program?
I think the benefits are numerous. It gives you confidence. It enables you to speak out and publicly. You don't go around shame and shy, and the pages are so far ahead of everyone else. They're easily trained and they're responsible, and we learn many things through the pageants that we wouldn't have otherwise learned.
But don't you think it's too expensive? Just think the parents have to take care of the children's expenses down to the hotel. And it's very expensive to feed a child in a hotel.
They'll be rewarded when they see how great their child looks and does on stage.
All right, so do you think this year will be a great year for the pageant?
Yes, I do.
What's the theme of the pageant?
Sparkling stars.
And do you think you will be sparkling?
Yes.
Okay, and how about all of the other pages?
Yes, I think they'll all be sparkling too.
Well, what do you think about the escorts?
I think the escorts are handsome and they'll be sparkling too, along with everyone else.
Oh, well, great. Thank you so very kindly. I would like to ask Marilyn Hildred, who will be given a $500 scholarship. Why is it you have been with the pageant all these years? What do you actually think of the pageant?
I think that Miss Black Oklahoma, along with the Miss Black America pageant, is probably one of the most positive. I call it an institution because it gives you experience that you need in order to compete in our present day. And what I really enjoy more than anything else in this world is watching the girls come home to see how they have developed and grown and the positive self images that they have grown to accomplish within themselves. I think that's why I continue to work with the pageant.
And you continue to give. You will
And
give
I
a
continue,
$500
yes.
scholarship.
Not only am I giving a $500 scholarship this year, but I'm also hosting a reception on Monday night, and I would like to take this opportunity to invite those of you in the radio listening audience to this reception. The reception will be held at Park Inn at 29 Southeast 29th and I-35 from 6:30 to 8:30. If you would like an opportunity to meet these beautiful young ladies and to see what we're trying to do and to visit with your friendly Allstate insurance agents, I would love to see you there.
Well, certainly, I would like to thank you. And tomorrow, what do you think? The girls, the staff, the escorts, and some of the parents will be worshiping at your church. How do you feel?
I feel truly blessed. I feel blessed, number one, to see so many of us come together in harmony.
You had the opportunity to see the Bible school this week, and we better congratulate to Mr. Leotis Marsha, his staff. I think they did a wonderful job. What did you think of the Bible school?
I have not seen so many teenagers together in one place in a long time, and I was really happy to see Fifth Street and their Bible school growing like it's growing.
That is commendable. This program is being made possible by your optometrist, Dr. A.L. Dow. Dr. A.L. Dow is the best. He's at the top. His office is located at 934 Northeast 8th Street. The telephone number is 427-5271. Dr. A.L. Dow. The M&W Welding Company is located at 2601 Northeast 23rd Street. The telephone number is 424-1482. At the M&W Welding Company here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want to tell you, and I want to answer some questions that you have been asking me. You wanted to know about the ABC Upholstery Company. You wanted to know where's that company located. Well, I have the best news for you. The ABC Upholstery Company is still in big business. One of the oldest upholstery companies in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That company has moved. And those of you that will be visiting here in Oklahoma City, those of you that would like to have some upholstery work done, I want you to remember the ABC Upholstering Company. ABC Upholstering Company. It's located here in the heart of Oklahoma City, across from Safeway here in Oklahoma City. The ABC Upholstery Company, Mr. Percy Hoard. Don't forget, the ABC. I would like to thank those of you that called me and told me how good that barbecue was up to Mr. Spriggs' Real Pit Barbecue, located at 3925 North Lincoln Boulevard. You told me how you enjoyed that barbecue. You talked about some barbecue up to Mr. Spriggs' Real Pit Barbecue. Mr. Spriggs' Real Pit Barbecue, 3925 North Lincoln Boulevard, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want you to drive down Lincoln Boulevard between 36th and 42nd. I want you to see for yourself. I want you to see Mr. Spriggs Barbecue. I want you to go inside and I want you to notice how the waiters and the waitresses are dressed. I want you to sit down, have your barbecue brought to you, all for the thrill. Or you can do it just like a buffet. Whatever you do, I want you to remember this name, Mr. Spriggs Real Pit Barbecue, 3925 North Lincoln Boulevard, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The House of Bingo has something very special. It's called Operation Back to School. And I would like for Shelley to tell you about Operation Op, Operation Back to School.
Economy Hall welcomes all to get involved in Operation Back to School funds. This program is a great opportunity for all children. We buy school clothing for your children ages 5 to 12 and pay school fees for first and second semesters. Each child will receive the following items: shoes, socks, undergarments, top clothing, sweater, coats, dictionary, and that's not all. Special awards will be given to a child with the highest grade point average each semester. Come and, come and enroll your children with us now through July 11th, 1987. All enrolled after the deadline date will be eligible for 1988 Operation Back to School funds. The enrollment is free to all regular customers. In order to qualify for this opportunity for your children, each parent will have to attend a minimum of 2 visits per week to our hall. We will play a special game for this program where 75% of the take will go to the lucky winners and 25% will go in the Operation Back to School funds. And we do accept donations. Registration will also be taken for children under the age of 5, so when they become of age, they will automatically be eligible. This is another new, innovative idea to help someone. Caring and sharing from Big George, the big man with the big heart. For more information, call 427-5926 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or come by 3641 North Everest in the Northeast Shopping Center.
Here's Onita with the funeral and death announcement.
Yeah, there when that lightning. Okay. Rob Funeral Home announces the following services. Services from Mr. Q.D. Mitchell of 1508 Northeast 12th Street will be Monday at 11 a.m. in the chapel of the Rob Funeral Home. Funeral service for Mrs. Lois Coleman of 4412 Northeast 16th Terrace will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. in Roth Memorial Chapel. The services from Mr. Alfred Lackland of Jones, Oklahoma, being transferred to the McDonald and Horn Funeral Home in Blissville, Arkansas. Temple Funeral Home announces the services of Mrs. Brenda Smith of 7015 Lilac Lane will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Wildwood Baptist Church. Funeral services from Mr. Viola Haynes of 817 Meadow Ridge Drive will be Monday at 11 a.m. at the Allen Chapel Church. McKay and Davis announces the services from Mr. Jeffrey Robinson of Oklahoma City is pending with the McKay Davis Funeral Home. Funeral service from Mr. David J. Fluker of Spencer, Oklahoma, Address is 12217 Northeast 36. Is pending with the McKay Funeral Home. We would like to say to the families as this evening, as we extend to you our deepest sympathy, we are hoping that God will sustain you in this hour of sorrow. And back to Clara.
Mrs. Spriggs' Real Pit Barbecue has a daily menu of pork ribs, chopped pork, beef briskets, chicken breast, smoked links, hamburgers, chopped beef. They feature Mom's homemade sauce, which is spicy and good. A 50-year family recipe, custom cooking. Try the unique onion burgers. Open Monday and Saturdays, Monday through Saturdays, on Monday through Thursdays from 10:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mr. Spriggs' Real Pit Barbecue guarantees that their barbecue is the best. We got the sauce, and we are the best. You may call in orders located at 3925 North Lincoln Boulevard. The call-in number is 528-8810 here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I would like to wish all of you good luck as you head to the various Baptist congresses in Richmond, Virginia, and Dallas, Texas, and I know that it will be quite a religious experience for you. It's Father's Day today. It's a day that's been set aside to honor the fathers. I would like to congratulate the fathers that care about their children. And I would like to congratulate the fathers that work and support their own children. Because there are a lot of fathers out there in radio land who don't care nothing about their children. And I say to you, wherever you are today, to be sure and remember your father on Father's Day. I don't care how mean he's been to you. I don't care how he left your mother with you to struggle. I want you to be nice to your father. And the reason I want you to do that, because the Lord says, the God of the universe say, honor thy fathers and thy mothers. Now, you fathers that haven't been supporting your children, I want you to know one thing, and I want you to look at your watch, because you're getting older. And when you get older and you have some children, you're lucky if they care anything about you. Now, you've got to be nice to your children. And I get so angry with fathers that tell me, I say, why didn't you come out to see your child play football or basketball? I don't have time. And I say to those fathers, you had time to get those babies, and certainly you should have time to take care of them. And I call upon you fathers today to be fathers, be examples. Be examples of what life is all about. And then it will be a happy Father's Day, because your children will look up to you and will respect you. And nobody can respect you if you fuss at your wives, if you hit your wives, then you are just a sorry father. Now, that's a direct quote for Clara Luper, and I don't want anybody to sue me because I say some fathers are no good. Some fathers won't take care of their own kids. Some fathers are lazy. Some fathers won't work. Now, if you fathers don't like what I say, then you take care of your own children. You get up off of your constitution and go to work and support your own family. You fathers stop using dope. You fathers stop stealing. You fathers remember that you are fathers and act like fathers. And I mean that. Now, those of you fathers that are not taking care of your wives, you are invited to come out here on radio and tell the whole world that you are the type of father that don't take care of your children. You don't take care of your wives, and every time I see your wife, she has a solemn look on her face because you've done nothing for her. As I look at the clock on the wall, I know that it's about time for me to say goodbye to you. I saw many of you today at the Ralph Ellison's library, and you are so kind to me. You speak to me, you say hello, you smile, and I'm so grateful, because that's what I want. I want you to be happy. I really do. And I have tried to do my best today. I've tried to say to you fathers, be fathers, because everybody that wear breeches aren't fathers. And I've tried to say to you young people to respect your fathers. And as we get ready to leave the air, remember we can stop crime in this town. All you have to do is to stop buying hot things. You can do it. If somebody walk up and want to sell you a hot ham, tell them that you don't want that ham, and it will end. Clara Luper saying until next Saturday at 2 o'clock, where I will be broadcasting from Miss Black, Oklahoma at the Myriad Convention. Until 5:15, well,